Gentlemen, we're here to talk today about Operation Child Shield. As you know, we proactively at the Sheriff's Office and the State Attorney's Office go after child predators and child pornographers, those that would want to take advantage of our children. So what does an ex-deputy, a retired school teacher, an IT professional, a radio technician, and a pilot have in common? They've all been charged here today with possession of child pornography. I ask that the media clearly broadcast to their constituents and to our constituents not to ever call this kiddie porn. That only devalues the children that are victims of sadistic rape by adults. All of our arrests today are of people who engage in possession of child pornography. 80%, statistically, according to our research, of those in possession of child pornography have had contact with children. It's important to point out that this is the largest roundup of child pornographers in the history of the Sheriff's Office. Today, we have arrested 34. Previous to today, for whatever the circumstances were, we had to arrest 4 others. We have 38 of the 45 in custody. We're still looking for the 7 that are running from us. But we'll find you, and we'll put you in jail. A tutorial, not my words but theirs, that's moving around on the internet of how to have sex with a child between birth and 8 years of age. Is there anything in the world more outrageous than that? If there is, I don't know it.
We have our 1-800 Crime Stoppers line and several others like that. Might there be another way maybe victims and those who are aware of this crime could get a hold of the Sheriff's Office anonymously? I think fear might be such a factor in these cases that they might call and need some information.
Quite frankly, they certainly can call Crime Stoppers, and it's totally anonymous and can be paid money for it. They can write us a note. They can dial our emergency numbers. If there's ever been an emergency, it's somebody having sex with a baby. They can dial 911. We'll take that information as an emergency. They can contact anyone. They can go to their preacher who has confidentiality and say, look, I don't want this to be confidential, but I don't want to personally say it. They can talk to anyone in a position of authority and say, please let law enforcement know. We'll accept the information by any way that it comes to us, and we'll drop whatever we're doing and go after it immediately. But just one phone call, and you don't have to get involved. But quite frankly, how could you not get involved? When I left for work this morning, I've been preparing for this since last night. The very last thing I had the opportunity to do was kiss my 8-month-old grandbaby, my first one, goodbye. And I looked at that little fella and I thought, how can anyone think of hurting a baby such as this? These guys do it for sport, and it makes me absolutely outraged. Jerry Hill, Brad Copley, Grady Judd, and our teams take great pride in putting anyone in jail that violates the law, whether that's a prosecutor, a deputy, a doctor, a lawyer. It makes no difference to us. If you violate the law, you go to jail, period. But you know what? The vast majority of this community is wonderful people. We proactively go after these folks. If we weren't proactive, this doesn't make noise. We don't get calls for service about these things. This would just go undone. If Jerry Hill, Brad Copley, Grady Judd, and all of our teams didn't care about these children, this wouldn't happen today. because there's certainly plenty of crime to investigate and prosecute.